Hello, soulmates. Welcome to Soul BB Concept. Today we'll be making this beautiful wrap dress together. See how beautiful it sits on me? So let's get straight into the tutorial. On our pattern paper folded into two, we'll draw out our start line. From there, we'll mark out our shoulder measurement 7.5, neck width 3.25, 1 inch downward for the shoulder slope. Then we'll mark our bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, that is for our armhole curve, bust point, under bust, and half length. So go ahead to roll lines all across each measurement. All right. So we'll measure the shoulder measurement 7.5 to be sure it's on a straight line. Using dotted lines, connect it. Divide that shoulder line by 2. Connect. Divide the shoulder line by 2. At the middle, you come in by half inch. All right. Then you connect to the bust point measurement. All right. So just connect to give the armhole curve. This is just the basic bodies. All right, it's a bit fast so that the video will not be so long. So we'll now divide our bust span into 2, which is 7 divided by 2, 3.5. We'll come down from our bust measurement by 1.5, connect to the straight line, take out that of half inch on each side to make it 1 inch. Now we'll mark our body measurements, the bust measurement, the round under bust, and the waist measurement, all right, at the half length. So connect it with the rule, connect the dotted lines, connect the points, then cut it out. That's basically that for that. But we'll be using a neck depth for the back of 1.25. That's just for the back. All right, the front, you see how we'll do it. Just this is 1.25 for the back. I'll not be cutting it out on this pattern first because I'll be using this pattern for both front and back. So we'll go ahead to cut out on our main fabric, adding allowances of half inch on the shoulder and at the hem, 1.5 at the side. All right, then now we'll go ahead to cut out our neck depth of 1.25, connecting to the initial 3.35 we marked. So now we'll just cut out, make a curve is a round neckline, and cut out. All right, so that's that for the neck. We'll now go to the front and draft out using the same pattern. That was why we didn't cut out the neck from the pattern initially. These are our darts. So opening up the pattern now, we'll go out on the other folded end by 4 inch because this dress is for a size 8. If you are making for a bigger size person, please go inward by between 6 to 8 inch, all right, depending on the person's size. So just go up from that line by 1.5 inch. So mark the straight line connecting the 1.5 inch. All right, then from the neckline, we now mark our chest line. So because we don't want it to have cleavage exposure, so we're using chest line of 6 inch. How do we get that 6 inch? From our bust point to under bust is 3 inch, so mark the same measurements upward to get 3 inch as well. So whatever I'll be doing should not exceed the 6 inch mark. So where the line intercepts, that's where that curve, that creeps line intercepts. That's what we'll be using as our neck depth for the V neckline. All right, so we'll go ahead to cut out this piece. So just cut it out following the marked line. So this is our front piece. We'll be cutting this in on fold for the two front piece. So we've gone ahead to cut it out, adding half inch allowance to the side, the hem, and 1.5 at the side. All right, so this is it. Just face it, turn it across, put one on top of the other one, and that is it for the front piece. So that's that for the upper part of this dress. We'll be going down to cut the skirt part of the dress. So folding our fabric into 4, having like a triangular shape, you just measure. The measurements we'll be using to cut our round circle is your waist measurement plus the 4 inch you added, that's 8. So waist measurement plus 8, the waist I'm using is 26 plus 8 is going to be 34. So make sure I have 9.5 on the round waist. Then placing my half length measurement of 16 inch, I'll mark down to the full length of the dress, which is 40. I just mark it round, 40 round, and that's that for that. We'll go ahead to cut it out, the circle. I made a mistake here cutting on the open side of my fabric, and that led me to having a join at the back. Please don't make same mistake. Make sure you use the folded end so that the back will be as one piece. I always cut out flares with pockets this way. I forgot this one is actually a wrap dress. So after doing that, what the next thing we'll do to get the curve, come down by 4 inch from the center front, then divide the circle you have by 2. The middle of mine was 13, so I mark at 13 inch. Then just make a curve connecting the 4 inch mark to the 13 inch, just like the way you see me do here. Then cut it out. Make sure you cut only the front piece, please. Lift it and cut just the front piece. Don't cut front and back, just the center front. All right, you see just my center front I cut the way I did mine. So this is the front piece we cut. So this I will be joining it, the facing the back, then the front on it, and the other piece on it like this. So that's for this. So now the skirt part will go ahead to slit open the sides because it will be having a pocket. All right, that's the reason I want that side open. That's why I was saying I should have not even cut the back on the open side. Please don't make that mistake. Make sure your back end is folded. All right, so I've gone ahead to cut interfacing for the back, and this is the interfacing for the front. All right, you can use bias strip if you like, but I prefer to use interfacing. So now I want to cut the flounce, and I just 1 yard of fabric I folded until I have 16 pieces. So I folded into 6. I'm trying to count if my piece is up to 16 pieces because I want to cut out 4 flares at once. All right, so I'll be marking. Sorry, I didn't know my camera was not capturing this. So I just marked 3-inch width. The radius I'm using for this flare is 3-inch width. Then the length of the flare is 4.5. I wanted to use 5-inch, but I realized my fabric was not that much. I used 5 at first, but later I realized my fabric was not going to be enough, so I used 4.5. All right, so just using 4.5 or 5-inch, whatever works for you. Just the quantity of the fabric is what will determine that. So 4.5 was what I used. I cut out the flounce, and when I cut out open, I had around 4 pieces of flare. Please, this 4 piece was not enough. I still went out to trim out 2 more. Using 1 piece, I cut out 2 more pieces of this peplon, all right, of these flare to use to attach to these ones. So after cutting it out, I'll just go ahead to cut open all 4 pieces at one end and join them so I can have a long strip of flounce. Remember I said I cut out 6 piece, please, 6 piece. So this is the upper border. I've gone ahead to attach the interfacing neatly. So we'll be weaving that other end. We'll use an interlocking machine to interlock it to avoid the fabric from fraying. And this is the back piece also. And also we'll be using hemming gum to attach it to hold it fast to the fabric. All right, so please, if you've watched this video to this point, don't forget to click on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. It's a way to support us and help us grow. And also turn on the notification bell so you see more valuable content when we post them. And please give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. All right, thank you very much. So we're gonna head now to now join the shoulder. So we're going to be sewing it down, and the way we'll sew it down is that we'll open the interfacing to face interfacing and fabric to face into fabric. So we'll sew from one end of the fabric to the other end of the interfacing. All right, so you can have a neat finish. The lower part, our skirt part, we've gone ahead to cut it open because of the pocket to be adding. So we'll just sew down this end. I'll be attaching the pockets much later. I didn't have fabric for that, so I'll be attaching the pockets much later. So just sew down the side seam and sew down the other side seam before you can attach your flounce. So go ahead to sewing machine and sew the 2 sides down. After doing that, now remember we're gonna head to attach our 6 flounce together. All right, so we'll have a long flounce now. So we'll be attaching the flounce this way. I wanted to start from the top, but I realized it was not going to be enough, so I just started from the 4-inch mark. We went down by. So starting from that 4-inch mark, I'm just trying to measure round and see if it was going to be enough for me. When I did that, I noticed it wasn't going to be enough. So I started from the 4-inch mark and I attached the flounce round to the other side of the skirt part of this dress. So after attaching it, I'll show you what it looks like. So we're gonna head to attach it, and this is what it looks like after attaching. So you see the flounce effect round the whole skirt. So we're gonna head to attach it, and look at how it looks. So fine. We stopped at the 4-inch mark. All right. So now we'll be attaching this to the upper borders of the dress. See, mine has a joining at the back. Please ensure your back piece is one, please. All right. Cut the back piece on the folded end. So this is the dress. We're gonna have to finish up the shoulder of the front, and this is it. You see how it's sewn neatly, so you can cover it. All right. We'll go ahead now to attach, to cut out. Well, I've not even cut out the sleeve. I didn't cut out the sleeve at first because I was really contemplating on what sleeve to use. So but we'll go ahead now to cut out sleeve for this dress. You can see the dart effect creating room for the bust. That was why I intentionally added darts to this dress. It is not mandatory. You can actually sew this dress without a dart at all, or just add back darts, but I wanted to add both front and back. I've let the 1.5-inch allowance there because I need to add my belt. So I want to add the belt from inside and stitch it. All right, then close the side seam. So now we'll be cutting out the sleeve, and I've gone ahead to measure the length of the sleeve I want to use is 8-inch. Then I added 1.5-inch for folding allowance. Just our basic sleeve. All right, just the basic sleeve, a normal just curve and down to 4-inch, your 4-inch mark. Measure round to ensure that you have enough fabric. You have up to your round armhole. For the dress, I've measured on the dress. I have around 9-inch on fold, so I'll be ensuring that I have that 9-inch on the curved end of that dress. So connecting my round sleeve measurement plus allowance. My round sleeve is 12 plus allowance of 1-inch. All right. Then our folding allowance too is 1.5-inch because I'll be folding twice. I'll be folding in 1/2 inch, then 1 inch. So we'll go ahead to cut out this. So just at this point, after cutting out the sleeve, I decided to just make an opening at the center of the sleeve. Just a pear shape opening. It's nothing serious. Just cut out a pear shape. You'll see how I went ahead to do that. So now to cut out that, just ensure your measurement is accurate. I've reconfirmed it and I have around 9.2-inch. I know that's enough for me. So now to create that pear shape I was talking about, just cut like a half a cycle. Please not too big, because when you open it, it's going to be very big, all right? So not too big, just make it small and a pear shape, just a very fine pear shape. So now just go ahead to cut it out. Just carefully cut the shape out. I'm using interfacing to turn this piece. All right, when you use interfacing to turn, please notch the center of your interfacing so that you can turn it smoothly. And using hemming gum, we'll be using this fabric as the interfacing. So we'll go ahead to sew round first. I didn't want to trim. I stitched round before I trim out the excess. All right, so I've gone ahead to do that. I've gone ahead to sew it round and also folded the allowance at the hem. So using hemming gum, I held it fastly. I held it to the fabric. If you have enough fabric, you can actually cut this sleeve in two. So use one sleeve to turn the other. But I didn't have enough fabric. I just used 4 yards of fabric for this dress. All right. So I've gone ahead to attach the belt as well. This is the belt. I cut out one belt to be as long as 50 inch and the other one to be as long as 32 inch. So the one on the left is the longer belt and the one on the right is the shorter belt, because the left will be going inwards and the right will be on top. So I wanted the left belt to go around my waist. That's why I made it longer, but you can actually make it to be the same. And we'll go ahead to show you the final look of the dress. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button to subscribe. It's free, just a way to support our channel. Turn on the notification bell, and please like this video if you see it helpful. Thank you. See you in our next tutorial.